Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Icewind Rime of the Frostmaiden on Mighty Misfit Menagerie, or... Yes. Excellent. Good one, guys. That was a great one. It was very long, a little bit unnecessarily so we'll work on that.
You're welcome.
If you want us to make that initial shorter, please like and subscribe, yell at us in the comments, and we'll work on getting, better as human beings.
I won't do it. Mine will still be long.
Yeah, Mark's a problem child.
I refuse to listen to the proletariat.
You can also give us compliments. You don't have to just be mean.
Oh, that's not what YouTube's for, but please.
Hey, to be fair, I'm sorry, I don't mean to step all over you, Coulter, but our fans, we get a lot of compliments, and I just want to say that I appreciate everything Nice had said, and they recognize when we make mistakes and we fix them, and I know that's mostly me talking because I got a lot of criticism at first and then praise afterwards, but I just really appreciate that to those who are dedicated fans of ours. You're amazing. So
yeah, thank you guys. And you know what else would be amazing? A recap. Who wants to take over that very smooth transition?
My computer's still restarting, so I don't have internet yet.
Okay, so dang it. I'm sorry. I haven't gotten into the names yet. I'm still thinking. Altus, touch Phoenix Shard.
Yes, you did.
And nothing really happened.
And it was good.
Cue smooth jazz.
Careless whisper.
So he was like, I'm going to keep an eye on that. And I think he took the shard back, yes? Or is Altus holding on to it?
Altus is holding one of the shards.
Okay.
I believe he has it in his bag, though, right?
Yeah, he's not. I told him specifically not to keep in contact with it.
No, wearing it in a locket against your chest.
Yeah.
Bearskin.
Okay.
We're lucky it's not Kime, or that's exactly what he would be doing.
Who's Kime, you may ask? Click on the link somewhere that Coulter will put in.
But about a recap.
So then they were like, well, let's go drink. So they were drinking, and Z gets back from seeing his mysterious vendors. He's like, what's up, guys? And so he starts drinking too. And then he's like, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my past. I was found on the tundra, the sole survivor of a shipwreck. And I don't remember anything before that or where I was going. Or maybe he did. I don't think he remembered, right? He didn't remember, he told them. So they were like, wow, that's interesting. And that's when Quill found him after all the wandering. So then the next day, we head out onto the ice to go find those fishermen. And Jesker up into the air, and he's like, what's going on? And he sees a boat stuck in some ice. So we go to that boat. And we're like, whoa, this is weird. It's empty. And there's this cliff face right here with a bunch of cave mouths in it. Gee, I wonder if there's anything in those. So we investigate and we come across a water weird that was maybe trapped in a frozen waterfall, or maybe it was just hanging out and we disturbed it.
It was definitely pretty weird.
It was weird. And so we got rid of that guy. So then we keep going. Then we're like, whoa, this room has necromantic energy in it. That's weird. And there's fresh blood on the ground. That's weird too. And then a frost giant skeleton reanimates, and we're like, defeat. So we killed that. It was pretty scary. It dropped Z to 0 hit points. And then he was like, boom, I'm a doppelganger, which I'm not really sure what that is, but that's the word that was used. So we were like, what? We revived him and we were like, we need answers. And he was like, okay, I do remember some more stuff. I'm actually the shapeshifter from Eberron. And I was like, I had to flee because they killed shapeshifters there. Scary. They're like the scrolls there, apparently. So then, so we were like, okay, no more secrets. And he was like, Sure. So then we kept going, and then there was a sea hag who was making a delicious stew with some mysterious meat in it. And she was like, hey, and we were like, hey, and we attacked. And we got rid of her. She was probably going to give us 600 gold pieces, but we missed out on that. But we did get her cauldron, which is this cool magical item that creates water, that turns water into stew. So helpful in our really hunger-heavy campaign. And then that's all I remember.
Yeah, that's basically where we left off, was the group of you dragging the Cauldron of Plenty out of her cavern along the frozen river where you'd found the frost giants' bodies frozen under the ice. And you ended in just a moment after we got a response from Rio.
You might have just been about to say it, but we were actually being attacked by a snarling beast when we ended.
Yeah, that's where I was getting to. So you dragged the cauldron out of the area where you saw the frozen frost giants under the ice to the outside, where you all decided that you were going to go into the rest of the caves instead of heading back to East Haven, because there were 3 more cave mouth openings that you had not gone through yet, all of which were a bit above the sea level versus the one that you originally entered in. And the first one that you were going up into 20 feet in the air, as soon as you all got inside the mouth of the cavern, you immediately heard a snarling sound in the darkness, seeing 2 yellow eyes opening somewhere deeper into the cavern. And that's where we're going to begin tonight, if I can have all of you roll initiative.
Got a 4.
I got an 11.
18.
23.
7.
Okay, I'm going to need a little bit of help because I was transferring maps and moving people around. So I know that we had Altus with the 7. I believe we had Tempest with the 18. Tranquil was the 11.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We have our wizard bringing up the rear with a 4. And first and foremost, our duplicitous sorcerer. All right.
Let me go ahead and move myself to the front because I kind of feel like I would have gone in there first. That's cool with everybody else.
Yeah, please feel free to arrange yourself, since we're just starting out especially.
Why are there 2 Altuses?
Yeah, I'm not on there.
You're back in the cavern.
Oh, I see it. I see him.
There were, yes, because Altus had cast his sacred weapon before.
Spiritual weapon.
All right, and now that you are inside here, I will reveal a cave full of bones and rotted meat, the eyes in the darkness becoming clear shortly as the visage of a dire wolf. That'll be Z.
Oh.
This is the cutest skull ever. This one right here. Zoom in on this skull.
Second, Rio's correct.
Verisimilitude. Oh, God.
Yeah, one right there.
Great. And now your lives are all at risk, and there are 2 dire wolves. So let's go ahead and start with Z.
Yeah. I can't see anything, so I'm probably not doing anything.
All right. That's going to bring us to our wolf. The dire wolf,
Ooh, sorry,
with the need to defend its cave, is going to rush forward here.
Yeah, bottleneck right up in there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I believe it looks like Tempest is the first thing he can get a hold of.
Yeah, I can see that.
That is a 13 to hit, Tempest.
Oh, that meets it.
All right.
My AC, yeah. Meets it.
12 piercing damage as it bites into the flesh of your arm.
Okay.
And that is going to be the end of his turn, and that will bring us down to Tempest.
Rage. Sorry, everyone. And I'm going to swing with my axe.
And remind us all, how much damage does everybody take from this rage?
Just 2.
Okay.
2 fire. And swing. 16 plus 4, 20 to hit.
All right, that is going to hit.
And then I need to do damage. 8 plus 2, 6. Yes.
All right.
No, 8 plus 2, 10. Yeah, never.
The wolf lets go of your arm as you bash it in the head, whimpering, and that'll bring us down to Tranquil.
I'm waiting on Mark to read Zoom chat. I was hoping he would see it before my turn, but so I'm going to bonus action Hex the Wolf, strength ability checks, and then I am going to
roll a 20.
I'm going to roll a natural 20.
Yes,
Using
right
my
in the beginning of the evening. Yes.
last portent dice from last round.
All right.
So that's going to be max damage, which I have to figure out. Hang on. So 4, 7 plus 12, 19 plus, yeah, so that's 19 plus now I need to roll. So 6, another 10, so 29. Boom, booming blade.
The dire wolf falls off of your sister, hitting the wall before it hits the ground, lifeless.
I run into the room. Is there anything else?
No, this was the den of a dire wolf that seems like it was probably having as much of a rough time as the rest of 10 towns. You can see that most of the bones on the ground are pretty old. It possibly was stealing scraps of meat from Maud Chiselbone, but whatever it had, it wasn't in a great state.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't have killed it. Damn it! I hate this.
I mean, sister mine, it did attack us.
I guess. We did come into its home.
I am going to grab the world's cutest skull, though, because I need that in my life.
Go ahead and put that in your pack.
Yeah.
Can I investigate around the room, seeing if I find anything out of the ordinary that doesn't belong to a dire wolf? 23.
With a 23, the only thing that strikes you as odd is as you look at the bones closer and closer, it appears that the majority tend to be humanoid. There are a few fish skeletons and a few smaller things, but all in all, these are majority humanoid bones.
Master, look how cute this skull is. He must have been hideously deformed, but it's adorable.
I guess. Sure, yeah, that's very cute. Now help me look for the 600 gold.
Master, I don't even know if that 600 gold actually exists. Why would she keep it in a part of the cave that we would have found it before we met her? How would it have been a bargaining chip then?
Do we know for sure before we've looked?
That's true. We might as well spend all day digging around in caverns being attacked by wolves.
As long as we're on the same page.
All right, what are you all doing now?
I compliment Tranquil and Finnick on their working together. You two seem to be on the same page. This is great. Yeah. And then I just kind of scurry out because I don't like the caves.
It's amazing what can be achieved, Eltis, when people act as a team as opposed to just doing whatever they feel like.
Agreed.
I think he was saying that you don't act as a team.
I skinned the dire wolf.
Okay. So it's going to take her probably a half an hour to do that at least. So you all can take a short rest if you want while she's working. And go ahead and give me your dexterity check for that. Because you don't have like the leather working tool proficiency, correct?
No. I don't have nature, but whatever. You want me to use Dex?
Dex or nature, either or.
Oh, 8. God, 8.
Just a suggestion, maybe survival.
Either way.
Yeah, what's your 8 plus?
Yeah, survival. I don't got that either.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 8.
Okay. Yeah, you butcher a lot of that. You're able to come away with some like squares of fur that could possibly be used as coasters if you want to keep those. The wolf was also very skinny, so that's part of what's a little bit harder about it. You're just working against bone. So
Fur coasters.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Well, those will look great in the tavern, sister.
I throw them at you and storm out.
Is there anything the rest of you all are doing on your short rest? Great. Okay.
I'm going to clean my new adorable skull.
Is that going to be your spellcasting focus now?
I'm thinking I have a use for it when I level up.
Level up? What are you talking about? All right. So where to now?
Up, right? Is it
Yep,
up?
we'll go to the
Next one?
Next
Back to East Haven. No, not back to the East Haven. Okay.
Not quite yet.
Maybe old Yamanartok's in here. We never know where she's going to be.
So coming over here, the moaning seems to get louder. You can hear it through all the mouths of the caves, and you know that you heard it previously, but in this particular cave is the loudest that it's been yet.
All right. If this ends up being some kind of spirit, ghost, or another giant, I'm gonna call it a day.
I've got my money on another hag.
You think a second hag is here? I think that's pretty unlikely.
Yeah. Why would multiple hags live in the same place? They can afford their own places.
I go to check like a notebook. Yeah, the usual.
As the moaning winds blow past you, the path forks. Taking left or going straight?
Might as well go straight.
Which entrance does the voice sound stronger?
The voice sounds stronger to the left.
Okay. So yeah, I suppose straight, and then we'll come back to the left.
There's more light as you come through this direction. The moonlight now from above coming through cracks in the surface, and you find yourself at that bridge that went over the frozen river. Are you planning to cross it or go back?
Does it look dangerous to cross?
It's covered in ice, kind of like everything else is. So if you do want to cross it, it will take a dexterity or acrobatics check.
I'll
let someone else do that.
Yeah. Well, I guess Altus, you could also attempt it.
I'm dexterous.
Yes, definitely. Mm-hmm. After you. How far is the drop?
20 feet.
Okay.
I look back to see if Tempest is watching, and then I start.
Okay. Give me your dex check. Dex or acrobatics check.
13.
You make it. Yeah. It's a little bit slidey as you go across, and there's a moment where you feel like you're about to hit the edge, but you're able to catch yourself with the other foot. And as you reach the other side, the room opens up again into another cavern that appears to have once held a campsite, but it's abandoned. There's a knapsack, what was clearly at one point held for firewood, and some discarded papers.
Sister, if he dies in there, do we go and get his stuff, or do we just leave him?
I mean, it's worth a shot as long as the bridge doesn't collapse.
What are you doing in the room, Altus?
I'm gonna search around. You said there's a knapsack?
Yeah.
Grab it. I'll just kind of
Sure.
grab it and bring it back to the party.
Do you want to take anything else in the room or just that?
Can I just, is there anything else of note in the campsite?
There is the remains of the campfire, and then there's what appears to be 3 torn out pieces of paper strewn next to it. The knapsack itself seems to be about the size for a dwarf, just knowing heights. And if you examine the papers, they are written in Dwarvish.
Okay, I'm gonna collect the papers as well.
Okay. Papers and knapsack then.
Yep.
Go ahead and give me another acrobatics check.
That one's a 7.
Yeah, so as he comes back, papers in hand, he ends up sliding as he gets towards you. Go ahead and take 7 damage, Altus. As he falls prone on the ice below, the papers comically flying into the air and floating slowly down, 2 of them landing atop him, 1 landing on the bridge.
Well,
Altus, are you alive?
Yeah, I'm okay.
How's your pride, buddy?
You know, you and I need to have a talk, and I owe you an apology at some point soon.
I'm going to attach a rope from my climber's kit so he can climb back up.
Okay. And I'll let you do that without Altus, without an extra roll as they're giving you assistance.
Thank
You are able to return to the top with nothing more wounded than your pride.
Was that fall loud?
It was a thud, and the chambers do tend to echo.
Once I'm back up and clear and safely off the bridge, as I move my token, I present the knapsack to the group and say, it was a campsite, abandoned, and all I found was this knapsack and some papers that seemed to be in some, I think, Dwarvish, and I go to hand the papers to Finnick.
Man, we really need to find a dwarf.
And I apologize if I said knapsack. It was intended to be sleeping bag. Sorry, I may have misspoken there.
Which a sleeping bag
is a literal nap sack. Yeah.
That's a better name than for a sleeping bag. That's a better name than sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Really, truly.
you
heard it here first, folks.
I will ritually cast comprehend language and read the paper.
In 10 minutes, it's easy to do. You can read all 3 of them. These caves are sacred to the frost giants. The carvings on the wall suggest that the giants came here to drown themselves. Did they use the hot spring as a sacrificial pool? ? The second page just says, the wind truly sounds like a wailing woman. One could easily go mad in this place. And the last one, I think there's someone living in these caves. Shortly after discovering the hot spring, I heard what sounded like a granny singing. When the song ended with a shrill laugh, dread sunk its teeth into me. Ye gods, that horrible cackle. I shall leave these caves in the morning and never return.
I hope he left.
I think we were supposed to find this room first.
I'm pretty sure that guy died.
Maybe he's floating around that cauldron.
Good call. Was there anything else in the room over there?
No, that was it. There was a campfire that it was obviously lived in, but nothing else in there.
All right. Fair enough.
So to be clear, no giant chests filled with gold.
No,
600 gold to be exact.
there were no chests filled with no gold. I tried.
I mean, did you look well, or did you just kind of fall off the bridge?
I mean,
Master, you're more than welcome to scramble on over there and look for yourself.
Also, quick question. Who is the one that is carrying the cauldron this whole time?
We had decided that we were leaving it outside of the caves. That's what we decided on, yeah.
Excellent.
And yeah, I guess I'll send Jesker over to it, and he will alert me if anyone tries to steal it.
Okay. Sounds good to me. All right, so now are we taking the other fork in the path here?
Suppose.
Rounding the corner, that moaning just gets louder and louder as your hair's blown back by the wind. And within, there are 3 mineral deposits, 1 hanging from the ceiling and 2 coming up from the ground, that are causing this strange intonation as the wind wraps around each of them, going up and down as it finds the crevices, the rock causing it to fall against itself as the moaning is the loudest in this space.
So not a scary monster at all, just some rocks?
Apparently.
And there is another passageway here.
Do they look like they're just rock? There's no like precious metal, precious stone or anything like that, right? Mineral. You said mineral deposits.
No. Yeah, there's it's kind of like think like quartzite. Like there's some shiny pieces, but it's not like it's diamonds or sapphires or something.
Okay. Go to the next area.
Quill, perhaps you should see if there's any magic around.
We'll go magic eyes.
As soon as you turn it on, nothing.
Nothing, master. And then I flinch, expecting to get slapped on the back of the head for doing magic the way I did.
And I will put my hand towards him and pat him on the shoulder. Good job.
All right. And continuing down this cavern, the moaning starts to get a little bit less again as you leave away from that room, though it's still quite loud. The path forks yet again. There does seem to be light coming from this direction, just kind of an ambient, but
I guess go right.
okay. If you go right, you end up in a fairly small chamber that has stick figure drawings carved into its northern wall. They're fairly elaborate and take up a good amount of space.
Really?
Do they look like frost giant figures?
It's difficult to tell. Go ahead and make a history check.
And my comprehend language is still up, so can I discern any kind of language out of the
They're not. It's a
figures?
It's really a picture. So if you want to make a history check as well, you're welcome to, but I don't think the comprehend languages would work here.
13.
Okay.
History is 14.
Okay. It appears that there's figures wading in water, but beyond that, not really discernible.
With the notes we found earlier, we can
Probably,
assume this has something to do with the frost giants.
Depicts the end of the frost giants.
All right, where from here?
I'll investigate the room still.
Okay.
To see if I can find anything hidden. That's good. That is a 8.
The floor here is barren, almost as if it's been swept clean. The only thing really noticeable in the room is the pictures.
Well, I guess that's about the size of it. You're muted.
Yay, can we go home now?
I suppose.
Great.
Anyone else want to stay for any other reason? Right. We will begin to take our leave.
Okay. You know from coming here that you weren't really that far from East Haven. The fishermen ended up in the straits that they ended up in maybe an hour or two outside of town. And with that, you are able to find your way back to East Haven proper by about 7 p.m. The taverns are still lit. It's very cold. There's not many people in the streets aside from people, going home from work a little late or heading between a tavern and their home or a tavern and their work.
So we rolled the cauldron back, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I did.
Rolled across the ice.
Well, I probably would have cast
tensored it or something.
Tensor's floating disc every so often.
I just love to use that spell.
Yeah, it's so useful.
It's useful.
It's a good spell.
How long have we been out at this point? Are we tired? Is it?
I mean, you left first thing in the morning at 8 a.m. You are returning at 7 p.m. So You've been gone for nearly 12 hours.
Is it too late to go and find Astaroth or Algaroth or French lady?
Arlagov?
That one.
That's funny.
Flora.
I don't remember her name either. Yes. Captain Arlagov. And it's, yes. No, I mean, she seemed the last time that you saw her to be somebody that's never quite off work. So if you wanted to go find her now, it seems, I would assume you probably could.
Yeah.
Who wants to roll the cauldron back to our inn so that we don't have to carry that around with us all over town?
I'll roll it back.
I mean, there's no need to roll it, and I'll point at the disc. You just walk back.
You're muted.
That requires you to go with them, Master.
That's fine. Unless you need me to talk to the captain.
No, I'm fine on my own.
No, maybe you guys should roll it, and then I will go with Corey.
You saw through my cunning plan, Mark.
All right, so who's going where?
I'll roll the cauldron home or to the white lady.
I will join.
Okay. And we know Tranquil and Finnick are both headed to town hall to try to find Captain. Z?
Probably going with the cauldron.
Okay.
See if they need help.
So the two of you, it's where the town hall is from the burning. Now that it's a day later, all of that's been taken down and cleaned up, and the square is back to being empty, partially swept from that all having been set up. But the town hall seems mostly dark with just a few candles in the front to light the windows.
Oh, after you.
I will go inside, very anxious to get rid of the rotting head in my backpack.
As you come in, Arlagoth with a middle-aged human man is walking out of one of the rooms inside the town hall. He has a fur cloak on and salt and pepper hair, and they are shaking hands and seem to be having a pleasant conversation as she is turning to leave.
Captain.
Oh, you're back so soon. Is that good news, or is this back so soon because you did not have to carry bodies with you?
Yes. Well, half and half.
Well, technically 1/10, and I will remove the head from my backpack.
She, as soon as you do that, she takes a step back, and the man next to her steps forward. Well,
unfortunately, you seemingly had a hag problem across the lake, and she had a penchant for cutting up and cooking fishermen.
Seems as if that is settled then, he says, and looks at the captain, and they both kind of share a glum nod. I'm sorry that you had to deal with such a dire situation. He steps forward to shake both of your hands, introducing himself as the town speaker.
Very nice to meet you. It was very tough on all of us, defeating the hag and cleaning house and all of that stuff. The prize, the reward, something about magic.
Oh yes, of course. We have the scroll that they took from Zaar.
Not you. Sorry. Sorry, I was shushing my dog, not you. Sorry.
Oh. Yes, we have the scroll that they took from Zaar, and I believe you also had. And he turns to Arlogoth. Oh yes, the bag of tricks. And so, with all of your trouble, we will be happy to offer you both of them. I know this was not quite what you originally had set out to do.
Oh, no, that's fine. One for finding the sailors, one for taking out the hag. It's understandable.
And did we come to a decision as far as bounties for Druagar yet? Just curious.
That is still in discussion. There has been a little bit of a matter of ensuring that we have secured the figurehead, now that you let us know what it was. And it is now in safer keeping than it was before. It is no longer on display. Yes, he comes back with, yes, I tried to explain to all of our citizenry when we got it up that it was something that had a bad energy to it, but everybody was very excited about having, any sort of news out here, even with East Haven being the bustling metropolis that it is.
As a citizen of Luskin, I kind of raise an eyebrow at that, but I'll let it go.
And it might be me overstepping, but where exactly did you secure it?
Well, it is still in the town hall. I don't really have somewhere more secure to keep it at the time until we figure out what to do with it next. But I assure you that it is out of any sort of contact with any of our citizens to ensure that whatever effects it might have will.
And I imagine you did the proper rituals for containing it. You have someone of arcane means to do that.
Well, he looks over his shoulder, and his assistant steps forward. She's kind of a mousy younger woman. We are looking into all that can be done in order to protect it magically as well. But for the time being, isolation is what the research that I could find recommended.
That is definitely the case. And if you need any other help on the arcane side or need help securing it, you know where to find me.
Yes, Prudence here is a good sport with all these kinds of things. I've been glad to have her around. And because I didn't say it earlier, my name is Deneth Whalen. So you have that. Was there anything else of interest in the caverns? Did she have any strange artifacts that we should be aware of? I mean, obviously, whatever you find is yours, but just in case there is more we need to keep under lock and key, it is better to know ahead of time.
Well, we did find one item.
What was that?
It was a cauldron that when water is put in it, it produces endless stew.
Prudence goes, I've read of something, but I didn't think it would have made its way all the way up here. And she takes the speaker aside and kind of whispers to him, and he looks pleasantly surprised. What are you planning to do with this cauldron?
Well, frankly, we were going to open up a small stew shop, but I guess if someone were to, I don't know, have a better offer, I mean, I guess we could be persuaded to part with it.
He snaps his fingers, and she runs back into the office, and you hear the sound of a wheel turning loudly, and then metal swinging, and she comes back out with a satchel and hands it to him, and he opens it up and looks through it. How about 5 gems? And he pulls out a diamond, like bigger than your fist, worth 500 gold pieces each. Is that a fair offer?
No, it's
unfortunately, me keeping my cool because my master cannot.
That's fine. Oh, okay. Yep.
Unfortunately, my sister has grown quite fond of it. Is that really the best offer you have? Because I'm pretty sure our associate back in Brinchander, they've paid us more for less.
Are you trying to tell me that cheapskate offered you a dime for this thing? Also, didn't you just arrive back here? Give me a persuasion check.
I had that 20.
He looks back at the captain, and she is like, I don't...
Sorry. Nat 20 plus 7, so 27.
All right. So he looks a little bit frustratedly over to Prudence again.
I will remind you, we are wizards, so communicating over great distances is a simple matter.
Well, it seems like Duvesses finally found that golden coffer we all knew she had. This is all that I have presently on me, but if you can wait a day, 2 at the most, I can double the offer. I just need to call in a few debts to the city. But I don't believe that Duvessa would be able to offer you anything more than that, no matter what sort of water-deep string she's trying to pull.
We'll take it, and I'll put out my hand.
Honestly, sir, that is more than generous, and we're happy to do business with the great, bustling city of East Haven.
Yes, all of that and more. First, maybe half the payment up front.
First, maybe I see the cauldron.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Of course.
We will have it brought over tonight if that's amenable.
The sooner the better. I'd be happy to wait for it. And he hands the sack back to Prudence, who goes back, and you hear the clank and the spin as the safe is locked once more.
Master,
should we go? Got a little sly smile on her face.
Should we go and collect the cauldron so they can inspect it?
Yes, we shall.
But to be clear, we won't turn it over to your person until we are assured the money. It is 10 towns.
We may discuss it more once you bring the cauldron here. You will get your down payment no matter what.
Very well. Master?
Yeah. Yes, let's go.
As soon as we get outside, I'm like, Master, you really need to learn how to negotiate better.
I've never seen that amount of gold, so I apologize.
It's perfectly fine.
And I'll smack him on top of the head. If you would have lost that first deal, but you did well.
It's not my first rodeo, Master.
The rest of you are back at the inn at this point, correct?
Sure.
As you come in with the cauldron in tow, getting rolled across the floor, the proprietor of the inn does not look terribly happy about a large, heavy piece of metal scratching up her wooden floors. But you see there's the halfling that you'd seen prior to this, who looks just terribly intrigued. He's playing another set, singing to a nearly empty bar at this point, but stops immediately upon seeing all of this and rushes up to you. Now, what in the world could you be doing with that?
I step kind of, if I wasn't in front of him, kind of in front, blocking between him and the cauldron.
Don't need to be. I apologize. No, I didn't mean to make it seem a threat. I'm just very curious. Not every day somebody walks in with something that size of copper. Did we... my name is Ronaldo. I was playing here the other night. You may have heard I am the primary expert on the history of the White Lady.
we've been told you're the self-proclaimed expert on history around here. Yes. And I extend my hand. My name is Altus Mendax.
The elderly human behind the bar snickers and he kind of shoots her a look, but extends a hand warmly. Is this something to be used for rites of magic? I am a bit of a magician myself. We're actually having a seance this evening, if you'd like to bring your cauldron to it. We're going to be bringing the spirit of the White Lady to the people of East Haven.
This cauldron might actually help a lot with that. The sea hag we took it from used to cook humans in it. So that's probably have a lot of spirits, right?
That's a lot of bad juju that I don't necessarily know if I'd like to bring into a seance of my doing. Perhaps we should leave it outside.
There might be some leftovers if you'd like to taste the spoils of stew, if you will.
I wouldn't.
Peeks his head around into the cauldron itself. It looks empty, luckily.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about its past so much. I mean, it's past is the past, right?
The past is the present, is the future in the world of the spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
can I do an insight on this guy?
Sure.
Do I be threatening? Do I try to be threatening, I should say?
16.
Is
this guy full of shit, or is he actually like legit?
It's somewhere between.
Okay.
He has never successfully brought her back before, but he really believes that he could do it.
Poor guy.
It's
Okay.
like it's this time is the time. It's gonna happen. He's dead sure.
Mm-hmm.
Can I count on all of you to be present? It'll be starting in roughly 2 hours, I'd say, in the back room of this inn. Very convenient location.
You may not. I appreciate the invitation, but I believe we have matters to attend to and a long day ahead of us.
If you insist that is the case, your friends?
Go away.
All right. Well, I will leave you with this. We live in dark times. Perhaps the spirit of the White Lady can help. I, for one, am curious to hear what she has to say. And with that, he kind of does like a half bow, stepping away, and returns to his post, plucking away, and really just humming now. He's given up the singing itself as he eyes you all crossing the room. Not meanly, but just kind of,
Is there a way to eye someone not meanly?
I gesture for some drinks. I take up a seat and I stare right back.
Should we take this up to a room while our drinks are being prepared?
Knowing my brother, they'll probably just need us to take it somewhere as soon as they get back.
I don't doubt that at all, Tempest, but something about having it out here in the open is a little unnerving, and I very over to the halfling.
As you all say this, he changes tunes and starts to break into a song directed very clearly at Tempest about a beautiful young woman from Bryn Shander Far. I
have even more.
And right about this point is where Finnick and Trank will return.
All right, Tempest, get the cauldron master, start casting the spell. Let's go.
What'd they say?
I will not discuss that in mixed company, my sister. But trust me, it's that music box we found on Hollow's Eve that one time, times 10.
Fuck you. I start trying to push the. I don't know.
Best reaction ever.
Go ahead.
I tell Tranquil, I'm delighted to hear what you've done. Let's go.
I'll actually cast a spell, not using the ritual.
We don't have time for a ritual.
Yeah.
As you cast the spell and are starting to take it out of the room, Ronaldo jumps off of his chair and goes, "Oh, you have more friends. Perhaps one of you would like to partake." And starts
Shush. No one has time for bards.
I just drew a Finnick and I go, yeah, that one's a magic user.
I turn and glare, and as I do, I cast Thaumaturgy, changing my eyes to black.
He kind of jumps back because he wasn't meaning to even look directly into your eyes, and then starts to sing about the devil of Cerdinaval as he slowly backs to his chair, sitting up onto his stool. All right.
That seems like a little insensitive, given that we're traveling with a tiefling, but okay.
I'll kill him later. That's cool.
So you are able to take the within 5 minutes you're back at town hall. They're still waiting, although more lights are on now as they've gotten some of the guards and whatnot awake and up into the main hall. As you bring it in, they're both waiting. The town speaker is pacing back and forth, and the captain's kind of trying to be like, calm down, everything's gonna be fine. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, as a showman, I would have already poured the contents of my water skin into the cauldron so that it could be percolating by the time we get there.
All right.
Shouldn't we do it when they're watching so they can see the magic happen?
I mean, I guess
he has a better point.
Yeah.
Just a thought, so they're not thinking that we're like tricking them or anything.
We dump that out and then we go for it.
So as you bring it in, he stops pacing and is clearly impressed just by the size of it. I mean, this thing is, 5 foot wide cauldron. Well, shall we proceed with what it can do?
Yes. Do you have a bucket of water?
He snaps again, and Prudence runs back into the office that she came out of and comes back with a bucket of water, and kind of waits and
just pour the water. Pour in the water.
She pours it in.
And then we wait an agonizing minute for it to turn into stew.
You have to stir. Yes.
Stirring.
As you do, heat fills the area around the cauldron as this smell of just delicious root vegetables and meat and spices come tumbling out as the pot fills further and further and further. He gets a cup from her, dips it in, and takes a drink, and then drops the cup on the ground as it shatters.
I lean over to Quill. I wish they'd washed that first.
Magic cauldron. I'm sure it's fine.
The damned cauldron. We can get that 500 gold jewels. This is going to change the life of East Haven forever.
Yes. But we agreed on half upon proof of the object.
Half upon proof of the object, and he snaps for the fourth time. And Prudence comes back and sets the big sack in his hands, and he hands it over. All right, the rest of it will be here, I'm told now, within 2 days.
2 days? It was 1 day before.
I said 1 or 2, I believe, and this is quite a hefty sum. This is more than what we've spent on nearly anything in years.
Well, given the 2 days and we have other business to attend to, I would like a written agreement.
I am happy to have one drawn up.
Specifically in the agreement, I would like it stated that if anything were to happen in the cauldron in the next 2 days, we are not liable for that, and we are still owed the full payment for the object.
That seems oddly specific. Is that something that you're concerned about?
Well, you do have a city filled with secret invisible dwarves, so it seems prudent.
He looks at the captain, and she goes, I thought that was something that you all took care of. I did not think that was something we were able to steal.
We killed 5 of them, but we don't know if there's more.
I just don't want it to come. The town hall has already been vandalized by dwarves. It just does not seem secure to be in your person. But I'm more than happy to leave it in your person if I have it in writing that we will receive payment regardless of the state in 2 days.
There will be no such proclamation made, and you are more than welcome to stay with it if you wish to ensure its safety.
Very well.
I think what I am offering to begin with is incredibly generous. And
I don't disagree.
He turns to Prudence and she nods and goes and draws it up. And in the contract, it says that you are allowed to keep the deposit. No matter what happens, you are allowed to keep your deposit. But the second half is determined on them still holding the cauldron when the remaining money arrives.
I think that's fair enough.
Keep it
we just
in
need
the
to
town
keep
hall.
it safe for the next 2 days.
In Abyssal, to my sister and master, I go, I have a really bad feeling about this.
Same here.
It will remain in the town hall. I have my 4 guards to look after it. If the rest of you would like to look after it as well, you're more than welcome to. I have no qualm with that. But it is to be kept on the premises.
Very well. We'll be camping out in the town hall.
Dubas is a tricky one, and I don't want to see this lost Bryn Shander like every other bauble that comes through here. And he
It wasn't your
turns
city.
and goes back into his office and closes the door.
All right,
Sure,
master. How many spells can we put on this thing to make sure it doesn't get stolen?
None that I could put on it without risking the enchantment currently on. I have the ability to put it in my rope trick for 3 hours, but that's not going to be enough. 3 hours a day. There's just not much else I can do other than us physically watching it.
I try and cast mage armor on it.
There's a resounding gong as it's like the spell hits it. You see a light go around the outside of it and then disperse.
Well, it was worth a shot.
Well, shall we settle in, I suppose?
Sure.
First, if I could have maybe the ear of the group. I have this, and I'll hold up the second book of spells. And there's a few in here spells that I think could help the group and myself. And I just want to ask for maybe one of the jewels to help me get these transferred into my book so that we can have those spells.
There's 5 gems, master, so you're free to spend your share however you see fit.
I grab for the bag. Is there an onyx in there?
No, it's just diamonds.
Trashy diamonds.
And Coulter, we're to understand that each diamond is 500 gold pieces?
Yes.
Got it.
Okay. And there's 5 of them? All right. Right.
So I suppose I'll use the majority of mine to transfer these spells, and I think maybe it would be prudent for the rest of mine and however or whoever wishes to create a party fund of sorts so that we can have a pool of money in case.
Finnick, I'm not familiar with the transferring of spells. Can we bring it down to my level?
There's things written here.
Uh-huh.
I need to translate them and write them in here so that I can cast them.
Yes, I'm following that much.
It costs money for him to do so.
It does. Okay.
Yes, I need the, magical implements of transcribing, and then also the magical ink and quill for me to use those spells into mine.
What he's saying is his share is going to go towards that.
Mostly, but some of it will go in the party fund, whatever's left.
Party fund? You want me to give someone else my money? That doesn't seem prudent.
And if we need something as a party, we address paying for it then.
Why don't
Fair
you
enough.
figure out how much it's going to cost to transcribe everything, and then we can talk about all pitching in for it. If you can justify to us.
Finnick, let me help out first. You've helped me quite a bit, and I don't know how much this costs. And I kind of like pat myself down and try to figure out how much I think might help, and then I hand Finnick 20 gold. 20 gold.
As much as I'd love to take your gold, I think the 500 would be sufficient, if not much more than what I need. Thank you, Altus.
You're welcome. Apparently I'm missing a point here, but I will ask Tranquil later.
In abyssal to my sister, Patsy.
All right.
Infernal, right? Not abyssal.
Yes, infernal. God.
You say it in abyssal, and she does not know what you're saying.
And is very confused as to how you learned this extra language.
How is the tone?
I'll go ahead and reveal what you have seen thus far.
Why is the map changing? I don't like the map changing.
Town hall.
Can we at least get a full night's rest before we have to? Please.
That's up to you guys. I mean, you guys had he told you guys you could stay with the Cauldron.
Yeah.
He told you guys he will have guards that will stay with the Cauldron if you don't. There will likely be there either way. So it's entirely up to you what you do now.
First, so I'm chomping at the bit. Finnick's going to see if he can transition this gem into actual gold and then use that gold to copy his spells.
Okay.
So is there a place in town, or are we just kind of hand waving that and saying like we're doing?
Yeah, for the sake of all of this, I'll hand wave that. No need to deal with exchange rates in the Great North here.
I mean, unless there's a chance we can get more money with my persuasion check.
It would only be less.
Also means that we might get less money. Yeah.
Yes.
So we can take shifts. I do want a long rest, but
I would like a long rest so I can do a ritual and level up, but we can take shifts. I'm down for that. So
after speaking in his office for a moment with the captain and his assistant, they come back out. And he goes, all right, if you are planning to stay with the Cauldron, we're going to take it down into the dungeon level here and keep it safe there. I think that's probably the safest place for it, not having windows, having a single point of entrance, and he guides you all down the stairs, first through basically just kind of a straightforward administrative office that leads into this room is full of just desks and shelves and whatnot, just regular like filing cabinets. That room opens into where you see there is a stone blockade of basically a wall that was half erected with little slots in the middle of it. And inside that, you see a black crystalline shape of, it almost looks to be a demon or a dragon. And there's wood attached to the base of it where it was removed from a ship. There are low burning lanterns that cast a gentle glow on this black object. And what is clearly the Charlatan figurehead. Yes, as I said, we have it now, believe, fully secured here. And he guides you around the edges of it down to the stairs leading from here. And you see there's more rooms leading off of that.
As we walk down, I'll say, who has access to the room above?
To this room here?
To the room with the mast, yeah.
Myself, the captain, the guard, and Prudence.
That's far too many.
And with that, he brings you down to the basement, kind of shows you a little bit how things are set up, and all the guards are settled in this room here. where you actually see them as well as him. And he directs you to roll the cauldron into that room where it can sit.
So this room here?
Yes. It's clear that there's like a card table where the guards had been playing Three Dragon Ante before this whole thing started. But this is their normal, jailer's room, as the rest of these are cells.
Before we go in there, I would like to cast Detect Thoughts as an ability and walk up and down the corridor and look in each cell just to see if I can sense anyone invisible.
There is no one invisible that you can see. There's also nobody here. They're empty.
So there's no thoughts or patterns coming from any of these rooms here?
No.
Okay.
If you look through the grate in that larger room, you see an oak chair fitted with iron manacles and a mop and a wooden bucket in a corner. The rest of the rooms are just empty with not even like cots or anything in them.
I would also like to detect magic each of the guards and Waylon, make sure they don't have any effects on them.
Nobody's glowing at all. There is the kind of vague thrum that you have seen from the Shardlin before, but nothing more than that.
Well, everything looks as secure as possible, Master. Who takes first watch?
I suppose I could take it. I can work on some of these spells while I'm watching.
No offense, Master, but if you're transcribing, you tend to not pay very close attention.
Well, perhaps someone could do it with me.
I'll volunteer with Finnick.
Then I will, in Infernal, I'll speak to specifically the twins, saying, if anything starts to happen, I'd like to potentially cast Rope Trick and see if we can get the cauldron into the other dimension so that no one can take it. That might take some time and Tempest your strength, but I think that might be the safest if it's under attack.
Seems fair, Master.
Mm-hmm.
I, for one, am going to set up my bedroll right at the base of those stairs.
Waylon basically just bids you all good night. If you need anything, I'm not far from here. Prudence actually has a house just a couple doors down. If you send for her, she'll gather me. Captain Arlagoth, is there anything else that I might give you or might do to help? This is quite the boon you've given us.
Well, here's hoping that the boon continues to be a boon and doesn't become a curse swiftly. Good, Captain.
Here's hoping. If all of you are planning to stay down on the dungeon level, I will distribute my guards accordingly on the first floor. If nothing else, if there's a break-in, that will give you a warning. If there is nothing else, I will see you in the morning. And she sends her folks upstairs. They post up. All right. With that, the town hall is quiet. It's now approaching 9:00.
And they specifically wanted the thing in the main room, right? They wanted the cauldron in the main room?
Yeah, they wanted it in the jailer's room.
Okay. I would be next to it in the jailer's room.
Okay.
I will, before going to bed, cast Mage Armor on Master and on Finnick, and I'm going to cast it on Tempest as well, because I think I can actually help her AC if it's actually a 13.
What does that do? That adds 2, right?
Well, it turns your AC into 13 plus your Dex mod.
14.
It's a +1.
Better than nothing.
Something.
I go to sleep. All right. I eat and rest.
On Master and Finnick and Tempest.
I get it twice.
Okay. Who?
Rio was muted. I want to know if he meant to say Altus or not.
No.
He
I meant Finnick and Tempest. I said Master, and then he said Finnick, so I corrected myself into Finnick.
Okay.
I can only cast it twice, guys. Come on. Give me an hour, then I can cast it more.
Okay, whoever is staying up, who I know that Finnick was planning on taking around. Is there anybody going with him?
I'll stay up with Finnick.
Okay, Finnick and Z. And are you waiting inside the room or outside the room?
I guess I'm going to go to bed then. I volunteered, but I don't think half of us need to.
Look at it this way, Altus. You can take watch with Tempest.
True.
Yay.
I don't know where. I'm gonna be here-ish.
Okay. And Altus, where did you go to sleep?
Probably not at the base of the stairs, but somewhere in between, like the path of travel to the cauldron.
Okay. So he would be like around the corner from the cauldron there?
Yeah.
Cool. And then Finnick, you were staying in the room?
Staying in the room, back against the wall, looking right at it.
Okay. All right. With that, those of you that are sleeping can go to sleep. Those of you that are staying up, can I please get a perception check?
To be fair, I am copying spells. So I don't know.
Disadvantage?
Poorly.
I would be as perceptive as normal.
I knew it.
17.
I will. I think. We'll see that the DC will change then.
Ooh, that's good. Perception is an 18.
For the first hour, you both hear the wood above you creaking as people are kind of getting settled, the guards getting settled into their positions, Prudence packing up to leave. There really was nobody else there. So once that's all settled, it's just dead silent. The town itself, going this late on what we'll call a weeknight, not a lot of people walking around, especially from the dungeon. There's not much you can hear in a sturdy building like this. And the time passes without event. All right. Do you want to wake up your second watch?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Doing 1 hour watches?
No, there was that. They just heard noises for the first hour, and it was second for the other three, or silent for the other three.
Sorry.
Second.
I will shake Quill awake. It's time to watch there, Quill.
Oh, is I'm doing second? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh,
And that means you got 4 hours of copying available.
Yeah. So I got one spell in 1 second level, Scorching Ray.
I will cast Mage Armor on myself and then go and sit near the cauldron.
And I mean, could we say that we staggered our watches so that like he still gets a full rest?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was imagining that there was something like along the lines of like this is just going to take 12 hours and you get your rotations. You know, who else is getting up then with Tranquil?
I can do mine by myself so that Altus and Tempest can do theirs together. That's fine with me.
Okay, go ahead and roll perception then.
That's going to be 17.
You start to feel this thrum of energy from basically directly above you. It's as if the floorboards, the stones are like vibrating with life, and you feel it swelling and swelling and swelling. And the moment that Tempest comes in to trade your watch out, it all vanishes.
Detect magic on Tempest.
Nothing.
I ask her in Infernal, hey, you remember when we were kids in Baldur's Gate, how we found that music box at one time? Do you remember how much we got for that?
So my first thought is that we've never been to Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. We've never been to Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I felt magic, and then I just assumed maybe, I don't know, you were another one of those gray things like Z.
He turns over.
Maybe
in
you
his
should
sleep.
go ask him weird questions then.
I was just being safe. I'm going to stay up for another hour. I want to try something, but you can take watch. Did you wake up Altus?
I kicked him a little on the way in. I don't know if he woke up.
Altus!
I wake up and wipe the drool from my face. My turn, I'm assuming?
Yes, sir.
I had a dream that I got hit with a tree branch. It felt real. And then I enter in and take watch as well.
Coulter, if it's all right with you, I would like to do a 1-hour ritual involving my new skull, trying to do something that I've seen my master do 1,000,000 times. I'm going to try and summon a familiar.
Okay, go ahead.
Point of clarification, did that count as my long rest?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I've been riding half hit points for a long time now.
You are now longly rested, being that you are the last watch. Everybody else has to wait until morning, but you and Tempest are both longly rested and leveled.
Yes.
Oh, so I didn't get a long rest?
Oh, I'll give it to you because it's just the ritual.
Okay. Because before you had said yes, and I was just like, oh no, I need that level to do this.
Flavor.
So during my hour-long ritual while you guys are watching, I don't know if you want to have them do perception checks. I don't know when events happen, but...
Okay. You can start with your ritual, then we'll have them do perception checks.
So I place this skull inside of my magic circle, and I do the ritual as Master has taught me, and then after a while... the skull kind of just falls over, and a small little wisp in the shape of a squirrel zooms out of the base of the skull. And I'm like, yes, I did it. Woo! And then I put my hand through the squirrel, and I'm like, think.
As you put your hand through the squirrel, almost right behind your shoulder, you hear a faint chuckling and a cold hand, and it fades almost as quickly as it came. All right, what do you want to do next?
I'm going to go and immediately wake up my master.
Michael, what?
Look what I did! And I kind of like gesture with my hands as the squirrel moves with my hands because it's floating above them.
I'll put my finger through it. I don't think you got the incantation right, Quill.
Oh, well, it's a familiar. Right?
Yeah, I suppose theoretically. Did you do the circle like I taught you?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you like the candles?
Well, I didn't have candles, so I just used that skull that I found.
Well,
The cutest skull ever.
I guess it works. Congratulations.
His name is Dr. Shivers, medical doctor.
Medical doctor. Is that his last name? Medical doctor. I'm going to go back to bed unless there's anything else you need from me.
No, I just thought you'd be proud of me. I cast a real ritual spell.
Well, yes, you did. No, yes. Yes, fine work, Quill. I'm proud of you. Next time, use candles. And I'll kind of curl back up.
I'm going to go back to my spot by the stairs. Oh, that is much bigger than I thought it would be. There we go.
There's your little buddy.
And I'm going to instruct him to keep watch while I sleep.
He kind of shivers up your arm as you're down there, and it's another kind of cool feeling to have him walk across your skin, but he curls up on your shoulder and puts his head down. But if you look up, he's got one eye open, looking up the stairs as he's in his little sleeping position.
I mean, he is undead, so he doesn't need to sleep.
You magicked a rat?
The pangs of life.
He's not a rat, he's a squirrel. Look at him.
Oh, all right.
Can I get perception checks from Tempest and Altus?
And Shivers.
And Shivers. And Shiver Me Timbers.
Dr. Shivers, MD.
Dr. Shivers, MD. He didn't go to medical school to be called Mister.
17.
17? Okay. Altus?
16.
Shivers?
Also 17.
So, Tempest, did you end up going into the room with Altus, or are you somewhere else?
Yeah, I went in there. Sorry, I didn't position myself. Yeah, I would be there.
So, Shivers at one point, about 2 hours into the watch, stands up at alert and just stares up the stairs for a moment, and his eyes track what would appear to be nothing, and then curls back up and resumes his fake sleep watch.
I'm asleep, so I don't see that, but
it's for all of you. The rest of you, as you sit keeping watch, the night is silent. The 4 hours that you have there, although there is no sunrise, from the time that you begin to the time that morning would break and you begin to hear the walking of people beginning to come into the town hall and the town beginning to wake up around it. Nothing appears to have occurred. The cauldron's in front of you. Is there anything else you'd wanted to do during your watch? Yeah. With that, then everybody wakes up in the dungeon a little cold and a little stiff from spending the night on cots on stone. But beyond that, the cauldron sits before you.
I immediately cast Detect Magic to make sure it's the same cauldron because we're being extra paranoid.
It is the same cauldron, and it still has most of the stew in it from last night, still steaming.
Oh,
Well, there's breakfast.
I like breakfast, yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's fantastic.
I put some stew in a little cap for Shivers.
He goes through the motions of eating it, though none of it leaves the cap.
I like to imagine he pulls little ectoplasmic bits of it up and eats that.
But the volume never goes down. Poor baby. What are you all doing now that it's daytime? Two of the guards come down and let you know that the building's open. What would you all like to do?
I'm staying in the room with Cauldron, still copying spells and watching it.
Great.
I'm going to sit with Finnick and assume that Tranquil's going to go and be the diplomatic one of the group.
What do I need to do for diplomacy?
Oh, I just assumed. Sorry. I just assumed, Tranquil, that you're going to go get us our pay as soon as you hear activity upstairs. I'm going to just.
Well, that's tomorrow, Altus. Tomorrow we get paid.
Oh, that's right.
He's just saying that you're our resident pain in the ass, so you would go and, pester the Lord to see if we can get it any sooner.
That's not what I was saying. I just
That's what you told me.
The beating I took from the tree trunks in my dream last night must have rattled my brain a little.
Mm-hmm. I will go upstairs.
When do you guys need me? Otherwise, I need to get out of this hole. So like we could say we do a schedule or something, so I know when I need to come back.
We'll stay for a while.
Yeah, you guys want to take shifts?
Yeah, I mean, I would stay in there all day.
Okay, because
Same,
you're just
probably.
copying your spells.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be back the evening then.
You gotta say that anybody else who wants to leave, you are more than welcome to.
I feel like I probably would go for a stroll and get cabin fever if I were to stay down there all day. So at some point I would probably break to go out and stroll and invite anyone who wants to come with me.
Okay, so I heard 2 people are staying. I know that Altus and Tempest are leaving. What are you doing, Tranquil?
I'd like to go into town and see if I can't buy some armor with my winnings from the night before.
Okay. Yeah, all of you have 500 gold pieces on you except for Finnick, who is spending most of it now. And Hank, sorry, I changed the map on you, bud. So I think that it's going to be easy enough if you all want to let us know which supply store, gosh darn words. What kind of armor do you want?
I'm looking for a breastplate as it increases my armor but does not give me disadvantage on stealth.
Okay. You are able to find a smithy pretty quickly. It's next to Furrier's Farthings, where she sold her pelts before, and it is Smithers, Smithies, and Smythes. We're gonna go with a theme.
I'm interested in a breastplate if you have it. Something not super shiny.
Excellent. Guy goes into the back, starts kind of digging around a bit, pulls out a sheet that's not hammered yet, but is what you would imagine is the size of what a breastplate would become, made out of iron. It'll be... He looks at the sand ticking away on the wall. Give me 4 hours and a few minutes to measure. Yeah, it'll be 400 gold and you can come back then.
Seems acceptable.
Excellent. Well, just a moment. And he hops down off of his stool, stands up and starts to kind of take measurements around each part of your body, strangely also getting your head. And then he pops back down and goes, makes some scribbles and then disappears into the back.
I turn to Dr. Shivers and go, shall we get lunch? And also, I would like to assume that I have somehow strung the skull to my belt so that he can exist in there because he doesn't like daylight.
Yeah, you still have a few hours until daylight actually happens. But yeah, he can easily,
I'm imagining a whole Bob the Skull with like blue eye socket kind of situation.
Whenever he wants to look outside of it. Yeah, the older human man goes back in there. Tempest, were you in there with him or did he go alone?
I probably would have gone with him.
Looks weirdly like the furrier. The big bushy eyebrows, the white hair kind of bent over, like uncanny.
Can I also ask, good sir, how much would it be to silver plate this? And I kind of hold up the skull.
Well, you didn't hassle me on the price of the armor, so I think we can throw that in for 5 silver, which will be enough for me to melt down to coat the thing.
Done and done. And here, take an extra 5 just for the expediency.
Ooh, I can double plate it. And takes that down and kind of counts the things to him and then immediately throws them into a, I can't remember the name for the furnace things, but just like melts them as soon as you give them to him. Yes, there we go. Pops it in the fire.
Actually, forge.
Forge.
Well,
you're the best.
Well, to melt down metals, it would be a smelter.
You
Within a
forge if it's a blacksmith.
Oh, yeah.
4 hours, 4 hours. And hobbles off into the back where you start to hear a rhythmic hammering.
What did you need to do in town today? As I kind of like tuck Shivers into my shirt, but he kind of sticks through it, like his tail is just coming through the shirt.
Well, I thought I'd get my own climber's kit so I don't have to keep borrowing yours, and maybe wanted something to help me skin things easier.
Leatherworking
like
tools,
that, right?
I don't know. I've never had the compunction to skin anything, so
I think I could get pretty good at it.
I mean, we are going to come across things with fur, so I guess it would be prudent.
I mean, if we're going to kill everything that comes across our path, I might as well, try to make money on their skins.
Wonder if you could make money skinning Druagar.
Oh, God, that'll take way too long, those fat asses.
We're speaking in Inferno.
I'm not with you. I understand.
Oh no! I just realized that the topic we would probably have switched to Inferno.
You are easily able to find the leatherworking tools next door at the furrier shop for 5 gold pieces for those, and then in climber's kit you can find several places. Go ahead and give me a percentage roll.
Okay, so the 2 zeros is that I got the 2 zeros and a 2. What is that?
So that would be 2, I believe.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. So with that, you go to multiple stores and a few places try and gouge you, like trying to sell them for twice what they're worth. But you eventually do find somebody that's willing to sell it for the 25 gold.
Okay. I need to replace one of my hand axes too if we want to hand wave that, or just tell me how much it is like we've been doing.
I can do that.
Or we can do that later even if it's not obvious to you. Sorry. Not trying to slow us down with my shopping.
No, you're totally good. 5 gold pieces for that. So you've spent 35 total. Of your fortune.
Would it be crazy to buy more dogs? Because I think with this amount of money, Tranquil would want to buy more dogs.
I will say they won't do anything for you, but if you want more, after you get past 5, they won't fit on a single sled.
So I could buy 2 more, you're saying?
Yes. And I believe
right. I'm definitely going to go look at the sled dogs.
Each.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go look at sled dogs, but only if I can find 2 colors I don't already have.
What colors do you already have?
I have 2 of just the normal kind of like husky color and then 1 black one in Fenris.
Okay, go ahead and roll a percentage die. Roll percentage die twice.
Ferris, not Fenris. Oh, percentage? I have to go get those. Hang on.
Oh, no. Sorry. Roll a d20 5 times.
Sorry.
42.
42 for the first one. What's the second one?
76.
Okay. Most of the dogs are that husky color, like 90% of them. There is another one that is black, like Fenris or Ferris's, but with one of its ears and half of its face being a gray. And then there is there's a fawn, like one of that like light brown fuzzy.
I will buy
those are
those
the only 2 that aren't. Okay. So that'll be 100 gold pieces then.
Yep.
That was your whole bounty so far. Hey, the whole process of these like gems, turning the gems into gold pieces, is that kind of hand wavy too? Or is that okay?
Yeah, that's...
You're not like chipping away little bits of gems.
I kind of love the idea of having to do that, but no. They were easily turned into gold at the counter as you exited the town hall at their local gem to coin station. Coinstar.
Coulter, what are the genders of those 2?
The black is a female and the fawn is a male.
Okay. Thank you.
More babies.
Yeah. All right. And Altus, was there anything you were getting in town or needed to do?
Yeah, I think after the explorations of the cave and everything, I'm going to go and buy some extra rope to have on hand, and maybe see if I can get like I can't remember if I have a climber's kit. If I don't, I'm going to buy one.
We found an explorer pack and a miner pack in the cave. So if you want one of those.
That's right. I think I'm going to go look specifically for like a good climber's kit. That way I can hold my own.
Okay. Climber's kit would be the 25 gold, and then the climber's kit's going to come with rope, but if you want extra rope, that'll be 1 gold for 50 feet.
Okay, I'll just take the standard then.
Okay, great.
And then is there like a public park or anything? I know it's outside in the dark and in the snow, but I want to people watch.
I would say at this time in the day, after you guys have kind of done this morning shopping, we're nearing that 10 a.m. time where you enter into twilight. And the town comes much more alive when that's happening. Okay. It's as close to bustling as you've ever seen. Very similar to Brinchander, although the personality is a bit different. It's a little more wily. You can see people are paying a lot closer attention to their purses. And there's still that sense of joy from the ritual the other night as the energy flows through the place. There's not really a park, but the two places that I would say would have the best people watching would either be just at the outskirts of town on the east way, where you can see people coming and going, or outside of the town hall, since that's kind of the hub on which everything else is built around. Yeah,
I'll go to outside the town hall, and I want to write a letter. I'm just going to be out there writing. And is there a postal service or anything in town? I know we have a mailman in our ranks, but he's off duty.
He could definitely show you where the parcel depot is that could take something for you if you need.
He's a little upset at me right now, and I think he's off with his sister doing something.
Okay.
But yeah, I think after a bit of shopping and just kind of being outside, trying to observe and people watch and have some peace and quiet to himself, Aldous will be satisfied.
You see Prudence come and go a couple times as she runs errands for the speaker. Some other, lower level town officials coming in and out, guards changing shifts. For the most part, everybody is just bundled as it is deathly cold, even in these hours of twilight, knowing that in a few hours it's going to be unbearable to be out here just sitting. As you complete your letter, the sun is beginning to set as we reach mid-afternoon. The parcel service, it turns out, is actually attached to the back of the town hall as a central location to distribute kind of all this stuff from. Dropping the letter off, you do hear a couple of the guards kind of gossiping about what could happen at the next sacrifice, and that it's such a shame that all of their names are in it too, because they have to protect the town, and if you're going to give all your guards to Oral, then who's going to take care of you when they're all gone? But none of them are too serious about the whole thing. It's just kind of, the general tension of living up here. Is there anything else you'd like to do after you drop off the letter?
No.
Is the letter going to Brinchander?
It is going to Brinchander, yes.
You know that it'll get there by tomorrow. There's only one post a day between the two towns, but it's an immediate thing with Brinchander only being 2 hours away. So
sufficient.
Excellent. All right. With that, what has been going on in the basement down there? Phoenix Z? Our wizard and our doppelganger?
Just been scribbling away.
Lost in his books.
After 4 hours, I'll look up Z. How long have you been here?
Oh, whole time.
Oh. go back down and start writing again.
Okay. All right.
Okay, if there's nothing else the rest of you would like to do in and about the city, as it gets closer and go ahead.
I would just like to buy lunch for Z, Finnick, and Altus because I assume they stayed in the basement the whole time. Something that's not stew, because as amazing as free stew is, like.
Does anyone want some stew? Yeah, you're able to find a fish and chips place. Because even though the knucklehead fishing is not great, it's still one of the primary sources of protein. So there are places to get it. Except for instead of whitefish, it's salmon.
And then after the 4 hours, I can pick up my armor and my skull, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add all that and then go ahead.
A silver skull hanging from your hip and new iron breastplate. All right.
Are we alone in the room, or is our guards around, or are there?
The two of you are alone right now. Yeah, the guards are just kind of like, if we don't have to do it, then better not to have to spend time away from a hearth in that cold, dingy basement.
Mm-hmm. As I'm kind of half paying attention and writing away, I'll say, so Z, you're some kind of weird changing thing, right? Where'd you say you came from?
Eberron.
And how did you get here?
I was kidnapped and brought here on a spaceship.
Z, we've been traveling together a little bit, right? I think we've had a beer a few times together. I think I'm starting to respect you a little bit more. Why would you want to ruin that by lying to me?
Why would you think I'm lying?
On a spaceship?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I came here on a spaceship too. So I guess we're twins then. And I'll continue writing my book.
Cool. How many lithids were on yours?
Do I know what an illithid is?
Yeah, I think being a learned person. I mean, you can give me a history check, but the DC is not going to be super high being a learned person.
Oh, yeah, it's an 18.
Yeah, you know what an illithid is.
How many illithids were on yours?
I mean, I counted at least 6, but, I didn't get to see all of the ship, just a couple cells, So.
Well, you're a strange one, Z. I'll give you that. You're not boring.
That's I think that's quite a compliment coming from you.
Yeah, don't get all mushy on me.
I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying.
So what's your goal then? You going back to this other land on your spaceship, or?
I mean, my people were hunted down and killed there, so I'm not necessarily itching to go back.
And are these illithids going to come find you?
I see, gets visibly frightened when you mention that. I hope not. I think they were all dead, but like I said, I don't know how many there were on that ship, so.
Well, if they do come, we'll be ready and we'll protect you. All right.
Thank you. That means a lot.
No, that's fine. I'm just gonna be silent for a little bit.
Okay.
Visibly uncomfortable, and then getting back into my book.
I'll probably walk out of the room just so he has some time to himself in the room for a little bit. Stay close, but.
And that's roughly when Tranquil arrives with lunch to drop off your fish and chips.
Oh, thank God.
Master, time to eat. Stop what you're doing.
It's fine. Just bring it in.
I just set it up, and then I introduce Gregory and Henrietta, my new sled dogs.
They both immediately tackle you and start licking your face, Finnick. Both very.
Not the book, not the book. These ones are new?
Yes, clearly they're new.
Yes, no, yeah, fine, yeah. How did it go in the city? How did it go talking to our speaker about getting the money quicker?
Very well.
Oh, so we'll get it tonight. We don't have to do another watch.
No, unfortunately, we still have to wait. Make sure you eat.
Well, I suppose it's fine.
And as night draws, and those of you that left for the day return to the dungeon beneath the town hall, who wants to take the first watch?
I'll take
I can take the first watch tonight.
Okay. So, if you all want to position yourself where you would be like sleeping and whatnot, I'll get the perception check from Altus and Tempest.
Altus is going to be in his corner.
And I'll be sleeping in the room as well. And before I go to sleep, I'll tell Tempest that if anything happens, wake me up and we'll do the thing.
Got it.
Before
Got
you
14.
go. Okay. All right. With that, the first watch, it's very similar to last night, where you kind of hear the bustling and movement upstairs as people start to get settled, the guards sitting in their places, as people, leave the town hall and are settling in for the night. But beyond that, nothing.
I got a 24 for the perception check. Is that still nothing?
Still nothing. You do notice that there is a spider that has been going back and forth, and it is the same one that you saw last night. It never seems to leave that spot, which is a little weird.
Lols, kill it.
Tempest, have you noticed that spider? It's the same one as last night. And I'm beginning to suspect it's got it out for me.
I smash it. I'll protect you.
Well, thank you. Goodness.
All right. Who's taking second watch?
I'll do second.
I could take second with Z.
Again.
Oh.
You guys like each other.
Give me a perception check.
15.
17.
Okay. Z, as things are just dead silent, you hear like a very faint thud upstairs. It's just like a dull.
Does it sound like it came from in this section here, or like did I hear it in the hallway?
It was above you.
Right, but like
directly above us, I think is what he's asking.
yeah.
I would say very close to directly above you. Yeah.
Okay. And I got a 12, and I got a full rest, right?
Mhm.
Before this watch, so I got a 12 and a 1 for my portent.
Okay.
A 1, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the only time where you really want to roll a 1.
Floors are stone, right? Or the ceiling is stone, or is the ceiling wood?
The ceiling's stone here. Yeah, there's pieces that are wood above that, where like the floorboards were creaking and whatnot, but directly above where we are right now is stone.
Okay.
What does it see?
I heard a thud, which is weird considering the floors are stone.
I can send Jessica up, see if you can check it out.
That might be a good idea.
Let's Jessica. Fly. And I'll send him up the stairs, and I'll put my perception to him. And I'll send him upstairs and around where I think right above us is. Or like, we know it's right above us is the ship mast, right?
Yeah.
So I'll send him into that room.
In that room, you see through Jesker's eyes, there is a large copper cauldron sitting in front of the ship's mast that looks super similar. And as you're watching, the door from the admin building, from the admin room opens, and Prudence walks through and she sees the cauldron and she like looks mildly confused. And then she looks up and sees Jesker and looks even more confused. And, hello, sorry, can I help you? I'd heard some. I don't know if you can understand me or not. I'd heard some noise from next door, and I came to check on all of you. I don't know, why is the cauldron up here? Do you know where they went?
I'll bring my perception back. And is the cauldron in our room still?
Yeah.
I'll cast Detect Magic.
On the one that's in the room?
Yeah.
Super magical.
What's wrong?
Tranquil, are you asleep or are you awake?
I'm asleep. I was just going to let Mark know that ravens do have the mimicry ability, so you could teach Jesker certain phrases to repeat back.
Got it. I have not taught him anything. Yeah, it's strange. So it looks like directly above us, the seemingly same cauldron is there in that room. Also, the nice woman was up there that was helping the town speaker. She seems as confused as I am.
Detect thoughts.
She calls down the stairs as you're doing that. Hello? Hello? Is anybody here? And it's a 30-foot, right?
Yeah.
You can sense her with this like feeling of like worry and anticipation, and that's all.
Okay, but there's nothing else in this room besides everyone else that I know?
No.
Okay.
How tall is the cauldron?
I believe it's like 3 feet tall.
Okay.
3 feet tall, 5 feet wide, if I remember correctly.
It's 4 feet wide and 3.5 feet in diameter, but it does not actually say a height.
Thank you. So I'll
How
say 3
high?
feet tall.
3 feet tall? Okay. I will kick awake Tempest. Yeah, Tempest. We might have a situation. And I will first cast Rope Trick, and I will make it hover 3.5 feet off of 3 feet 2 inches off of the ground, right above the cauldron.
Okay.
Push it up, and then keep the door open, and then cast Tensor's Floating Disc right underneath it. So it goes 3 feet off the ground. So there's 2 inches between Tensor's Floating Disc and the Rope Trick.
Okay, so the cauldron's like, there's like 2 inches of the cauldron sticking out.
In the middle of the air.
No, the cauldron's inside of the Rope Trick.
Okay.
And then the Tensor's Floating Disc is blocking the entrance, and there's 2 inches between the entrance and the Tensor's Floating Disc.
I'm
so
gonna
you
make
have to destroy Tensor's Floating Disc in order to get into Rope Trick.
This is very clever. Very clever. Okay, cool. Sounds good. As you do that, the voice is getting closer. Are you all right? And she kind of is coming down the stairs slowly, cautiously.
I would have stepped out of that room, and I'm at the bottom of the stairs.
I have to stay here, but Z, I don't know if you want to go help.
Yeah.
Am I awake? Has anyone woken me up yet?
Not yet.
been some loud noises. I live just next door. I came to see if you all were okay. None of the guards seem to be here.
None of the guards are anywhere in the building?
I haven't been upstairs yet. I came to check down. I assumed that's where everyone would be.
As everyone's talking above me, can I have woken up at this point?
I thought that he woke you up earlier, but yes. Because she's standing like right at the edge of the stairs where you are sleeping, so.
Detect magic on her.
On her?
Yeah.
She's not using any magic, no?
Well, we haven't seen anything down here.
I'll wake
Why
Altus
did you move
up.
the cauldron upstairs?
You guys moved the
Cauldron's-
cauldron upstairs?
The cauldron hasn't been touched.
We didn't.
Well, it's sitting next to the ship's mast. I assumed that I don't know. I just assumed that perhaps there was a flood or something, and you had a need to.
Quill, can you go check that cauldron?
Yep. I'll hop up and gesture for Shivers to follow me, and we'll go upstairs.
Altus, do you want to go with him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tempest, I think maybe we should get in the room and hold.
For the record, Coulter, I can't control Shivers yet, but
okay. Let me see if I can give that to you real quick.
I'm just gonna stay at the foot of the stairs so I know if anyone's coming down. But if you want to go in the room, that makes sense.
I'm going to go in the room and I'm going to have detect dots up in case something enters the room.
okay, I will detect magic this cauldron. Is this one magical?
As you come up the stairs, and also for our friend doing detect thoughts, as soon as you turn on detect thoughts, you sense 3 more people above you, and as soon as you come up the stairs, there are 3 men dressed in cold winter clothing waiting at the top, all wielding swords.
So
And that is where we're going to end tonight. So
Bastard.
I thought you guys might get to the battle sooner, but you hit it at just the right moment.
Yeah,
so thank
shopping.
you all so much for watching our episode tonight. We got through the end of the Cauldron Cavern, and I think we're nearly through the end of East Haven as a whole. So great work, guys, making it through. Thank you so much for everybody that has been helping support us on Patreon. David Lugo, David, Daniel O, Sparky, and now our newest friend who just switched his
Patreon ship?
pledge the other day. Mark, your
Scott.
friend,
Scott.
Scott.
Oh, Scott Bain.
Scott, yes.
I'll give you the chance to say it. It's fine. Thank you so much, Scott
I'm
Bain.
not donating. I don't know why you're saying my name. Scott, you're awesome, buddy. Thank you so
Oh,
much,
my
man.
dragon brother.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. We did just release a new short video last week, and we'll be trying to keep those coming up. We've done the Wild Magic Barbarian Sorcerer. We're going to keep going through Tasha's and also try to get some more World of Darkness content out there for explainer videos. Later tonight we're actually going to be shooting a World of Darkness video, so that'll be coming out the same day as this one. And with that, we will come up with a tagline eventually.
Someday.
When someone joins
Good
up
night,
on
everybody.